Jack Harmon wiped sweat from his forehead as he finished stitching the German Shepherd's leg wound. The military dog whimpered once, then licked his hand. "All done, Rex. Good boy." Jack fed the dog a treat and patted his head. The veterinary tent at Frontier Base Epsilon was quiet today, just how he liked it. His radio crackled. "All medical personnel report to Command Center. Emergency Protocol 7. Jack frowned. Protocol 7 meant unknown contact. He secured Rex in his kennel and grabbed his medical bag. Outside, soldiers ran across the dusty compound. Alarms blared. In the command center, screens showed a smoking crater in the nearby mountains. Colonel Reeves pointed at the thermal imaging. "Unknown spacecraft crashed 10 minutes ago, no communication response." "Casualties?" asked Dr. Patel, the base physician. "Unknown. First response team deploying now." Jack stepped forward. "I should go too, if there are injured." "Negative, Harmon. You're the vet, not a medic." "With respect, sir, we have no idea what's in that ship. Could be animals, could be something else. Better to have all medical options available." The colonel hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but stay back until we secure the site." 20 minutes later, Jack sat in the back of a rumbling transport vehicle with 5 soldiers and Dr. Patel. The mountain path was rough, jolting them against each other. "What do you think we'll find?" asked Jenkins, a young soldier gripping his rifle. "Probably space junk," said Martinez, "or some rich guy's private shuttle." The transport stopped. "End of the road, we go on foot," the driver announced. They climbed for 15 minutes before the smell hit them. Burning metal and something else, something organic. "Holy shit," whispered Jenkins as they crested the ridge. The crash site stretched before them. Not a small shuttle, but a massive ship, half buried in the mountainside. Strange symbols covered its dark hull. "Movement at 2 o'clock, said Martinez, raising his rifle. Jack saw it too. Something large shifting in the wreckage, much larger than a human. "Hold fire," ordered Captain Wilson. "Dr. Patel, Harmon, stay back until we clear." A deafening roar cut him off. The ground shook as something burst from the ship's torn side. Jack froze. The creature stood at least 12 feet tall, with armored skin and multiple limbs. Blood of an unnatural blue color poured from wounds across its body. It swayed, clearly injured, then collapsed to one knee. "Weapons ready," shouted Wilson. The creature roared again, but Jack heard something in it. Pain. Fear. "Wait," Jack said, stepping forward despite Wilson's warning. "It's injured." The radio crackled. "Base to response team. We have multiple contacts approaching your position. Unknown vessels entering atmosphere." As if on cue, 3 sleek ships appeared overhead, hovering menacingly. A beam of light shot down and figures materialized at the edge of the crash site. Humanoid, but definitely not human, with gray skin and elaborate armor. Their leader stepped forward. "We claim this fugitive asset. Stand aside." "This is Earth territory," Captain Wilson replied. "Identify yourselves." "I am Commander Drezkar of the Vraxian Dominion. That creature is our property. It is defective and dangerous." The wounded creature growled, backing away from both humans and Vraxians. Colonel Reeves's voice came through the radio. "Wilson, neutralize the creature. Avoid conflict with the new arrivals." Jack watched the massive being. Despite its fearsome appearance, he recognized terror in its 6 eyes. The same look he'd seen in wounded animals trapped in war zones. "We can't just kill it," Jack said, moving closer despite the captain's order to stand down. "Our own medics refuse to treat it," sneered Drezkar. "It is worthless, defective." Jack made eye contact with the creature. Something passed between them. Understanding. As both human and Vraxian weapons raised, Jack stepped between them and the wounded alien. "Easy, buddy," he said in a low, calm voice. "I'm not going to hurt you." Guns pointed at Jack from both sides. The massive alien creature growled but stayed still, its 6 eyes fixed on the human vet who stood protecting it. "Step away from the asset, human," Commander Drezkar ordered. His gray skin tightened around his mouth as he spoke. Colonel Reeves barked through the radio. "Harmon, that's a direct order. Move away now." Jack didn't budge. This being needs medical help. I'm a doctor, that's what I do. Captain Wilson lowered his voice. Jack, don't be stupid. We don't know what that thing is. I know it's in pain. Jack slowly set his medical bag on the ground. And I can help. The standoff lasted 30 tense seconds before Colonel Reeves spoke again. Wilson, secure a perimeter. Harmon, you have 1 hour to stabilize that creature. Then we reassess. The Vraxian commander hissed. This is Vraxian property. We will not allow— This is Earth, Wilson cut in. And right now we're allowing you to land. That can change. Jack didn't wait for more arguments. He approached the alien slowly, hands visible. I need to check your wounds. Understand? The creature made a rumbling sound, then lowered its massive head. Up close, Jack saw the alien's body was a mix of organic tissue and mechanical parts. Blue blood leaked from several deep gashes. I'm calling you Titan, Jack said as he examined the wounds. Seems fitting. He worked quickly, cleaning wounds and applying pressure bandages. The alien's anatomy was unlike anything he'd studied. But Jack recognized enough to know Titan was in bad shape. We need to move him to base, Jack told Wilson. I can't treat him properly here. Impossible, Wilson replied. That thing weighs tons. Then bring supplies here. Set up a field hospital. While they argued, Jack noticed something embedded in Titan's neck. A metal device pulsing with red light. When he touched it, Titan flinched in pain. What is this? Jack asked Drezkar, who watched from a distance. Control implant. All war beasts have them. War beasts? Jack felt sick. You created him for war? Drezkar smiled coldly. We improved them, made them useful. This one is defective, shows empathy to enemies, hesitates to kill. Jack remembered wounded military dogs he'd treated, how some couldn't return to service after seeing too much combat. The 1,000-yard stare in their eyes. That's not defective, Jack said. That's sentient. Over the next hours, a tense camp formed around the crash site. Vraxian ships hovered overhead while Earth forces established a perimeter. Jack worked non-stop, setting up a makeshift veterinary hospital with supplies flown in from base. During a rare break, Jack splashed water on his face from a canteen. His hands shook from exhaustion. You're wasting time, Dr. Patel said, joining him. I've seen your file, Jack. Afghanistan, Iraq, you couldn't save them all there either. Jack's mind flashed to the military dog that died in his arms after an IED explosion, to the local animals he'd tried to save in war zones. This is different, he insisted. Is it? Or are you still trying to save everything broken by war? Jack didn't answer. Instead, he returned to Titan, who watched him with intelligent eyes. I need to remove this, Jack said, pointing to the control implant. It's hurting you. Titan growled softly, then tilted his head to expose the device. Jack worked carefully, using surgical tools to disconnect the implant. When it finally came free, Titan shuddered. Then, to Jack's amazement, the alien raised one massive limb and made a gesture, touching its chest, then pointing to Jack. He's thanking you, said a soldier watching nearby. The moment was interrupted by Commander Drezkar's voice booming across the camp. You have 12 Earth hours to return our property. After that, we take it by force. Jack looked at Titan, who now seemed to be trying to communicate something urgent through gestures. Suddenly, Titan's body convulsed violently. Blue fluid leaked from his mouth as he collapsed to the ground, limbs thrashing. What's happening? Jack shouted, rushing to help. Drezkar smiled. Remote kill switch activated. Did you think we would let you steal our weapon so easily? Jack lunged for his medical bag as Titan thrashed on the ground. Blue fluid bubbled from the alien's mouth and nostrils. The massive body convulsed violently. What did you do? Jack shouted at Drezkar. The Vraxian commander watched coldly. All assets have termination protocols. This one is now worthless to us. Jack scanned Titan's body frantically. There had to be another implant. He ran his hands along the creature's spine, feeling for anything unnatural. I need light here, he yelled. Two soldiers pointed flashlights at Titan's writhing form. There, at the base of the skull, another metal device pulsed with red light. Unlike the control implant, this one had burrowed deep into Titan's flesh. "Get me the surgical kit from base," Jack ordered. "Now." "There's no time," Dr. Patel said, kneeling beside him. "What do you need?" "Something to neutralize the device. It's sending electrical pulses through his nervous system." Captain Wilson stepped forward. "Would an EMP grenade work? Disable the electronics?" "It might," Jack said, "but it could kill him too." "He's dying anyway," Patel pointed out. Jack made his decision. "Do it." Low yield, right next to the implant. Wilson pulled a small device from his tactical vest. "Everyone back up. This will fry all electronics in a 3-foot radius." Jack positioned the grenade precisely, then retreated. "Now." A soft whump sound, then a blue flash. Titan went rigid, then collapsed completely still. "No," Jack whispered, rushing back. He pressed his hand against Titan's chest, feeling for vibrations, any sign of life. Nothing. Then, slowly, a rumble built in Titan's chest. The alien's eyes fluttered open, all 6 focusing on Jack. "That's it, buddy," Jack said, relief flooding through him. "Stay with me," Dreskar hissed in anger. "Impossible. The kill switch is foolproof." Jack ignored him, working to stabilize Titan. The alien was weakened but alive. As Jack cleaned the blue fluid from Titan's face, the creature's massive hand moved, forming shapes in the air. "He's trying to tell us something," said Jenkins, the young soldier. Colonel Reeves's voice crackled over the radio. "Wilson, report. Satellite shows Vraxian ships changing formation." "Sir, the alien is alive. Harmon disabled some kind of kill switch. Get everyone back to base immediately. Vraxians are moving into attack positions." Jack shook his head. "We can't move Titan yet. He's too weak." "That's an order, Harmon. Leave it." "No." Jack stood firm. "I'm not abandoning my patient." Titan's hand moved again, more urgently. This time Jack noticed a pattern. The alien was drawing something in the air, symbols, then pointing to the sky. "He's warning us," Jack realized. "The Vraxians are planning something." As if confirming his words, the ground shook. In the distance, an explosion lit up the night sky. Base Epsilon was under attack. "All personnel, defensive positions," Wilson commanded. "Prepare for evacuation." Dreskar smiled. "Your stubbornness will cost your people dearly, human. That creature belongs to us." "He doesn't belong to anyone," Jack snapped. Then, turning to Titan, he asked, "Can you move at all?" Titan struggled to rise, managing to get to a kneeling position. The alien made more gestures, pointing to his head, then to Jack's. "I don't understand," Jack said. Titan reached out slowly, placing one massive finger gently against Jack's temple. A jolt of energy passed between them, and suddenly, Jack's mind filled with images. Hundreds of creatures like Titan, imprisoned in massive facilities. Experiments, pain, and something else. A plan. Jack gasped as the connection broke. "They didn't create your species," he said, understanding dawning. "They enslaved you." Titan nodded, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Another explosion rocked the mountain, closer this time. "We need to get to the bunkers under the base," Wilson said. "It's our only chance." Jack looked at Titan. "Can you send a message? To others like you?" Titan nodded again, more vigorously. "Do it," Jack said. "Call for help." As Titan began emitting a low, pulsing sound, the sky above them filled with Vraxian ships. The first shots hit the mountainside, sending rocks and dirt flying. "Take cover," Wilson shouted as the bombardment began. The bunker doors sealed with a heavy clang. Jack helped Titan squeeze through the narrow entrance, the alien's massive body barely fitting in the underground facility. Alarms blared as soldiers rushed to defensive positions. "Status report," Colonel Reeves demanded, his face lit by emergency lights. "Vraxian forces have surrounded the base," Captain Wilson replied. "Heavy bombardment on the east perimeter. They're looking for a way in." Jack worked quickly to stabilize Titan in a corner of the main bunker room. The aliens' wounds had reopened during their escape from the mountain. "How long can the bunker hold?" Jack asked. 6 hours, maybe less with their weapons, Reeves said grimly. We've called for reinforcements, but the nearest help is 8 hours out. Titan made urgent gestures, pointing to his head, then to a military engineer working nearby. I think he wants to talk to your tech people, Jack said. The engineer, Specialist Garcia, approached cautiously. What does he need? Titan pointed to the remaining implants embedded in his body, then to Garcia's tablet. I think he wants you to help remove the rest of his control devices, Jack explained. Garcia nodded. I can try to interface with them, maybe disable the whole system at once. While Garcia worked, connecting cables between his equipment and Titan's implants, Colonel Reeves pulled Jack aside. Harmon, we need to discuss options. The Varaxians want that creature. If we hand him over... His name is Titan, Jack interrupted, and he's not a bargaining chip. He's the reason they're attacking us. No, they're attacking because they're afraid of what he knows. Jack lowered his voice. Colonel, the Varaxians didn't create his species. They enslaved them, weaponized them. Titan is trying to free his people. A massive explosion shook the bunker, dust falling from the ceiling. Perimeter breach in Sector 4, a soldier shouted. We don't have time for this, Reeves said. That thing... Sir, Garcia called out. You need to see this. On Garcia's screen, complex data scrolled rapidly. These implants aren't just control devices, they're full of information. Star charts, base locations, fleet movements. He's giving us intelligence on the Varaxians, Jack realized. Titan nodded, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Another explosion, closer this time. The lights flickered. They're breaking through, Wilson shouted. Suddenly, Titan rose to his full height, towering over the humans. Despite his wounds, he moved toward the bunker entrance. What's he doing? Reeves demanded. Protecting us, Jack said, understanding in his voice. The bunker door burst open. Varaxian soldiers poured in, weapons raised. Titan roared, charging into them with surprising speed. His massive limbs swept 3 soldiers aside. The others opened fire. Help him, Jack shouted, grabbing a fallen weapon. The human soldiers hesitated only a moment before joining the fight. The narrow corridor became a chaotic battlefield. Jack fired at a Varaxian, aiming at Titan's back, then ducked behind a support pillar as return fire peppered the wall. Through the smoke and chaos, Jack saw Titan fighting with incredible strength despite his injuries. The alien wasn't just powerful. He was smart, using tactics to protect the humans while engaging the enemy. Fall back to the command center, Reeves ordered as more Varaxians breached the bunker. As they retreated, Jack heard a new sound, a deep, resonant call from outside the base, then another, answering from a different direction. What is that? Wilson asked, pausing to listen. Titan made a gesture of triumph, pointing upward. The bunker shook again, but this time not from Varaxian weapons. Something massive had landed on the surface above them. Sir, a communications officer called out. New contacts in the air. They're attacking the Varaxian ships. On the monitor, strange, organic-looking vessels engaged the Varaxian fleet. They moved with incredible speed, their weapons tearing through the enemy ships. Titan's call, Jack said, amazed. They came. Commander Dreskar's voice boomed through the base speakers. Attention, humans. Surrender the defective unit and all data immediately. You have 1 Earth hour to comply, or we will destroy your entire facility. Before anyone could respond, the bunker ceiling collapsed. Varaxian special forces dropped through the opening surrounding them. No one move, the lead Varaxian ordered. Dr. Harmon, you will come with us now. Jack felt the cold metal of Varaxian restraints around his wrists. The alien ship hummed around him as guards pushed him down a long corridor. Through viewport windows, he saw Earth growing smaller. Move faster, human. A guard growled, shoving him forward. They entered a massive chamber filled with holding cells. Inside each one, creatures like Titan lay wounded or sedated. Some had missing limbs replaced with mechanical parts. Others were barely recognizable as living beings. Commander Drescar waited at the end of the hall. Welcome to our breeding facility, Dr. Harmon. Impressive, isn't it? Jack fought to keep his voice steady. You're torturing them. We're improving them, and now you will help us. Drezkar gestured to a medical station nearby. Your skills with the defective unit were remarkable. You will now treat our damaged assets. And if I refuse? Drezkar smiled coldly. Then we return to your planet with our full fleet. Your base was just the beginning. Jack looked at the suffering creatures in their cells. He thought of Earth, of the people at Base Epsilon fighting alongside Titan and his kind. I'll treat them, he said finally. But I need proper equipment, freedom to move between cells. Granted, under guard. Drezkar seemed pleased. Begin immediately. For the next several hours, Jack moved from cell to cell, treating wounded creatures. With each one, he whispered the same words. Easy, buddy, I'm not going to hurt you. And with each one, he secretly disabled control implants while pretending to check vital signs. The guards grew bored watching him work. They paid less attention as time passed. Jack used these moments to communicate with the captives, showing them what he'd learned from Titan. One by one, the creatures understood. One by one, they waited for his signal. On the command deck, Drezkar watched Earth on the main screen. Prepare the invasion fleet. We will take this planet as our new breeding ground. An alarm suddenly blared. Commander, multiple security breaches in the holding area. On the security feeds, chaos erupted. The captive creatures had broken free, led by a human in medical scrubs. Lock down all sections, Drezkar ordered. Kill the human. Jack ran alongside his newly freed allies, directing them toward the ship's control systems. This way. We need to disable their weapons. A massive explosion rocked the ship. Through a viewport, Jack saw new vessels approaching, the same organic ships that had appeared at Earth. Leading them was a familiar figure. Titan, Jack whispered. The Vraxian ship shuddered as Titan's forces attached to the hull, cutting through metal to board. Vraxian soldiers rushed to defend, but they were overwhelmed by attacks from both outside and within. Jack fought his way to the central control room, using knowledge gained from the freed captives. Inside, he found Drezkar waiting, weapon raised. You've doomed your species, human, the commander snarled. No, Jack replied. I've helped free one. The door behind Drezkar burst open. Titan entered, his massive form filling the doorway. The wounds Jack had treated were healing, and new armor covered his body. Drezkar fired, but Titan moved with surprising speed. In seconds, the Vraxian commander was disarmed and pinned. It's over, Jack said, moving to the control panel. With guidance from one of the freed captives, he disabled the ship's weapon systems. Titan made a series of gestures, which Jack now understood. He says the other ships are standing down, Jack translated for the human forces now boarding the Vraxian vessel. The Vraxians surrender. Colonel Reeves approached, looking at the scene with amazement. Harmon, you have a lot of explaining to do. Sir, I'd like to propose something, Jack said. An interspecies medical corps. These beings need help recovering from what was done to them, and we need allies against threats like the Vraxians. Reeves looked at Titan, then at the other freed creatures now gathering in the control room. I'll take it to command, but something tells me they'll agree. 6 months later, Jack stood in a new facility built near Base Epsilon. Around him, humans and Titan species worked together. Former weapons of war now served as peacekeepers and explorers. A new ship arrived, carrying wounded from a distant conflict. Jack and Titan moved to greet them at the landing pad. The injured alien that emerged was frightened, lashing out at those who approached. Jack stepped forward calmly, Titan beside him. Easy, buddy, Jack said in the low, gentle voice he'd used that first day on the mountain. You're safe now. The alien calmed, looking from Jack to Titan with all 6 eyes. Titan made a series of gestures, which the newcomer seemed to understand. What did you tell him? Asked a nearby technician. Titan looked at Jack, then back to the newcomer. Jack smiled. He said, the human vet says easy, buddy, it means you're home.